Donald here. Now, this is my first review video for quite a fair bit, I have to admit. I think since that Rustin Hornsby locomotive video. I could be wrong. And weirdly, it's on a track cleaner. I honestly don't know why, because right, oops. I had it here a second ago. Oh, yeah. When it comes to something like track cleaning or something like that, I mean, the go-to for me is really these Pico track cleaners here. Simple Pico track rubbers. You can't go wrong with them. They work every single time. Every time. In some places, like if I'm helping out at the local club do their track cleaning, well, I use my Woodland Scenics Tidy Track kit, which really does come in handy and basically makes a mark of its own, as it has great reach, great work around the tunnels and bridges on that layout. It's brilliant, and it is effective. But this is something you use for if, well, you want to run trains as you clean. Now, in the past, and I had to have them right behind me, I just used these. These are from Nook, or actually Woodland Scenics make similar, very similar things, and they call them dust monkeys. The idea really is you just, well, got a buggy here. The idea is you just clip them onto a buggy. Make sure the buggy still turns freely. And the idea is, as it rolls on, these just glide on the rails. Or in this one's case, if it sticks a bit to the buggy, you make sure this leads. So the buggy wheel, so the axle forces it onto the rail. Which is a bit odd. It really is a bit odd. This one though, it gives you running ability with trains, but it's also effective. And it's by a company I've never heard of before. Not even several modelers who I know very well. Even they have no clue what the company, who the company is. So here it is. Now, for some reason on the back it says, yeah, it's made in the good old US of A. So, yeah. And it's by a company called Centerline. And I'm reading this straight from the box. Basically, a cleaner is fairly heavy absorbent roller that is, well, pretty much, you can pretty much douse it in any form of cleaning fluid for the track. That's good. The roller is guided along the rails by the frame of the cleaning wagon and is allowed to float vertically, that's in brackets, so as to press firmly onto the rails. The wrap-on roller cover is resilient to some friction, pushing force. Painted into limited slip. Limited slip? So like a differential or something like that? What the? I have no idea. The fluid that remains on the rails before evaporation. So if you end up with oil on the track, or if you overdo maintenance on a loco or something, this can clean it up, I guess. Will loosen build-up of dirt from the wheels, blah blah blah, that followed. After several passes, the rails and wheels rolling stock should be electronically clean and free from real slippage. Yep. And when you flip it upside down after reading all that, you get a basic drawing of what it should look like when it's all set up. That is quite weird. What's even weirder is this is an American product, and you're met by the words 00 gauge. Model D36. Now here's a weird combination. Proto 2000 wheels and Hornby couplers. Huh. That is quite weird. I mean, package wise, that just looks pretty bland, and I'm just getting reflection from the phone. But yeah, it looks pretty bland to me. That looks pretty bland. So we'll get this on the layout and give it a better look, shall we? Okay, so first things first, we have the box the right way around. That's a simple little snap type opening. Bit of a pop. Now what we have here is a bit of cloth strip. Okay. I mean, this is well packed in, so we'll get this out first. And what looks like a wee... No, it's just a wee empty box at the bottom. But I actually might as well open this up fully just to show what's down there, because here we have more cloth strips. Okay. And yeah, I don't know why I'm acting so unamused or surprised, because I know what these little things in this are. And I say things because I gave it a shake, and boom, there's two. Because I know exactly what those are, and if I'm honest, this is about the 4th time I've opened the box. And because naturally I have to test run it before giving it a proper review. All part of the whole thing, really. See if I can shut that without ruining the paper. Close enough. Because, yeah. Might as well say this here now, as I put that awkwardly on the rails. Because when I thought it had Hornby style couplers, I'd think, oh yeah, something like this type. The very basic, and not the camera, crap. And the very basic, bland couplers, but nope. Sorry, hiccups. It had one of these. And that didn't work either, so I chucked that out. And yeah, I fitted two of these more streamlined, easier to go around curved ones. But found out a bit of a design flaw that no one really, well, picked up in the whole thing, which was the little screw right there rubbed hard on the axle here. It was really rubbing hard on the axle. I couldn't tighten the screw anymore to give it any clearance. I couldn't really loosen this up anymore. And wow. Sheer weight of this alone is nuts. I'll just take that out of the way. But yeah, I mean, so had to fit some spare knuckles I had lying around, which worked a treat. But yeah, this gives full range now. So these are Proto 2000 bogies, and nice little serration stout on the inside of the wheels there. I like that. It's a nice, it is actually quite a lovely bogie. I got a weathered one right here, I think. This is a weathered kit version. Basically the same, really. And it's all plastic, but it's actually quite lovely, that. These are metal wheels. And hope I don't get in trouble for this, but I have actually borrowed the scale from the kitchen just to figure out how heavy this is. So, since the phone won't weigh much anyway, I'll chuck this in and add the frame. Okay, so that looks like it's about maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 ounces. If anyone can tell me what's that in grams, you're a hero. Okay, I better return this straight after the video, otherwise I am in trouble. But yeah, joking aside though, that is very free rolling. And there's nothing really to this rolling frame, really. It's heavy, it's solid die cast. It's got Centerline products right there. And there's the patent number. So it's a protected design. Means you try and swipe it, you're in trouble, mate. Another issue I had when this had the Hornby couplers on it was the height of the coupler. Now, coupler height with some British stuff, it don't matter much as long as it's a mil or two. This though was horrifically bad. So yeah, the weird thing is though with this, you just grab your cloth here, your fabric, and you just tightly wind it around this hunk of brass here, which is actually knurled and was beautifully machined. It is actually beautifully machined, and I can tell the term. I know the term knurling and the machining quality because I actually studied engineering for a fair bit, and this is quality work. It really is. Now apparently you get a wee little rubber band that holds this in place so you can run it both ways, but I don't have it, and I like the loose version, so you can just plop it in like that. And the idea is, as it gets dragged along, it goes like that. Dead simple, really. It is so blooming simple. The only thing is though, since I run British stuff, and I have a A3 here, my old A3, I should say. So I can take the tender off like that. It's got a tension lock. And this is fitted with knuckles, but ooh, that wants to stay in. Thanks to whoop, I hit the camera again. Thanks to Easy Mate, well, Easy Mate, or however they're pronounced. They're a sub-brand of Bachmann USA. You get nice little plastic, I admit, NEM couplers, and I'll just take the brass out of there for a moment. You get NEM couplers, so it stays coupled. And in a way, this is a good intermediate wagon if you're trying to do something like English locomotives with American trains or vice versa. I find that quite clever. And if I ever want to weigh it down anymore, here's some brass work I did when I was doing engineering last year. Turned a bit of brass with a bit of a thread cut on the inside. So it's basically a cap, really. I just never got around to doing the knurling like I did on this chunk right here. This is knurled, and with a slight taper at the top, but no thread cut. So they were unfinished projects, really. Well, I say unfinished. Fact is, they were a bit too small to finish the assignment I had to do. So I thought, screw it, instead of chucking them, might as well find a use for them. And weighing down this already heavy wagon, well, I say wagon, but it's a rolling frame, really, seems to be a good idea. So all I have to do now is just set her off down the line. Even though the layout's a complete mess at the moment. But well. And even after all that running, I'll just gladly uncouple this and put the loco aside. Take the extra weight off. We can already see distinctive dirty rail marks in the brass. Well, on the fabric, the cloth anyway. And what I really like about this is, once this gets really, really, really grubby, it's quite simple. Grab yourself a good pair of scissors, find out where the grub ends, and then that goes in the bin. And you're ready to continue. Now that I find quite cool. And if you're a bit lazy at rolling this up, well, you just do something like this, really. Push it to about where you want it. Have a bit of a lead. It's fairly unrolled at this point, and that is quite messy, but does it for you. Because it's a limited slip, doesn't mean it's tightly done. Gotta make sure it's tightly done, otherwise, what's the point? And I think this is a bit of a nice oddity, because in a way, the very mucky used cloth I get from this afterwards, I can actually use for something like building hillsides, small hillocks, something like that, because using this and a very nice paint and glue mix is a good way to make sort of plaster fiberglass thing on polystyrene blocks, really. So it's a good trick for making hills, walls, all that junk, really. And I almost said something that almost started sync on the MRYCG a couple of days ago. So I'm not going to say it. But yes, this is quite a very weird thing. I mean, it's beautifully weighed. I have to admit that it's beautifully weighed. It is so stupidly simple too. It's so... I'm not lying when I say it is so stupidly simple. It is brilliant. I love it. And what I was meaning is something as an intermediate wagon between, say, a loco and a carriage is, well, got the A3 tender here. I'll just flip around, because it wouldn't be the first time people have seen the back of an A3. I mean, look at Flying Scotsman, you see the back of that quite a lot, purely because of that clever corridor. And I fit another NEM knuckle on it. This is an Oxford Rail car transporter, by the way. And all I do, simply put this on the rails, hook up one end, hook up the other. Done. It's brilliant, and you can actually disguise. I think it's got this nice slip around the edge in there, so you can disguise it as some sort of wagon. Some sort of wagon. I mean, with something like this, something like one of those big or very weird looking open wagons, even vans, something like that. It would actually suit that type of thing pretty well. I mean, sort of like a covered car transporter or a GUV wagon, general usage wagon. Even a post van would work. I mean, you could put so many covers on top of this. It would be an invisible cleaner. It really would. Be an invisible cleaner. You hook it up on a layout. No one will even notice it at all. And I'm not joking, and that actually just came off the top of my head, that bit right there. No planning at all. At all. So, oh boy. So, if anyone wants one of these, it's modeled not model D3. No. It's model D36 from Centerline products. Yeah. Made in the good old US of A. It is quite unique. It is the most unique type of rail cleaner I have ever seen, because it is quite different. That's that's the only way I can describe it. Different. It is just whoa, out of there. Different. So thank you for actually watching this oddity. Is the best way to describe it. And this is up onwards, saying on a very, very warm Sunday night. Well, good night.